Good morning, students. In previous class, we have seen up to structure of glucose, how we have predicted the structure of glucose, and finally, by using D and L, that is dextrorotatory, whatever the properties, some properties are used. Finally, structure of glucose was written as like this. We wrote the structure now. Carbon atoms are numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like this, we derived the structure. Now, in yesterday's class, we have seen that glucose name can be written as plus glucose or small d glucose. What is the meaning of this plus or small d? This is dextrorotatory. Glucose is dextrorotatory. We already know that one. Okay. So according to that, we can write this plus glucose or small d glucose. Along with that, glucose finally it is represented as capital D plus glucose. Name of the glucose finally it can be written as capital D plus glucose. Okay, what is the thing here representing capital D? That one we have to see now. Okay, ma? Let us see what about the difference between capital D, capital L and small d, small l representation. Okay, let us see. Capital D, capital L representation has no relation with optical activity. Capital D, capital L representation has no relation with optical activity. Okay, we have only small d, small l representation only. We have only small d, small l representation related with optical activity, ma? All of you. Small d, what is the meaning of small d? Dextrorotatory. What is the meaning of small l? Levorotatory. Okay, that small d, small l representation only they are related to optical activity. Capital D, capital L representation is not at all related to optical activity. Please remember carefully, all of you. Now, then for what purpose we have represented this small capital D? Okay, in the olden days, before the discovery of dextrorotatory representation and levorotatory representation, that is small d, small l representation, scientists they have taken one relative compound. Relative means one comparison. Suppose remaining all the compounds will be compared with that compound. That is relative compound. That relative compound is glyceraldehyde. What is the relative compound scientists they took? Glyceraldehyde. Okay, now we will see the structure of glyceraldehyde and how we are going to relate that glyceraldehyde structure with this capital D, capital L representation. Now we will go through. Okay, just whatever I wrote that, please once go through, all of you. Okay, what did I say, ma? Small d, small l representation only it is representing optical activity. Capital D, capital L representation has no relation with optical activity. Okay, now importance of this glyceraldehyde we will see. Now see. Okay, see to the structure of glyceraldehyde, all of you. C OH CH2OH H CHO. This is the structure of glyceraldehyde. Glyceraldehyde will form mirror images. Those are non-superimposable mirror images. Those are called enantiomers. C OH H CHO CH2OH. Okay, these two are the enantiomers of glyceraldehyde in which they will show optical activity. This is plus glyceraldehyde. This is minus glyceraldehyde. Okay, these are the two enantiomers of glyceraldehyde. If OH is present on right side, that is called plus glyceraldehyde. If OH is present on left side, that is called minus glyceraldehyde. Okay, observe the two enantiomers of glyceraldehyde. One is plus glyceraldehyde and another one is minus glyceraldehyde. Now, coming to the explanation of this glyceraldehyde, this is a relative molecule. Okay, in glyceraldehyde, OH is present on which side? Right side. Okay, ma. Now, this is plus glyceraldehyde. Okay, clear. Now, coming to glucose molecule. In glucose molecule, we have 4 asymmetric carbons. Those are 4 chiral carbons. What are the 4 chiral carbons? Second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, and fifth carbon. What are the 4 asymmetric carbons or chiral carbons present in glucose? Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay, now I am writing this glucose molecule as CH2OH. This is 6th carbon. This is 6th carbon. Okay, now what are the symmetric carbons? Once again I am telling you in glucose 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 asymmetric carbons are there. Is it clear? This is not asymmetric carbon because this carbon is bonded to 2 hydrogens which are same groups. What is the definition of asymmetric carbon? The carbon which is bonded to 4 different groups. Carbon which is bonded to 4 different groups is called asymmetric carbon. Correct? This is bonded to 2 hydrogens which are same. This is not coming under asymmetric carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In these 4, which is last asymmetric carbon? 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons are asymmetric carbons. Which is last asymmetric carbon? This is last asymmetric carbon. Okay, that last asymmetric carbon is bonded to OH, H, CH2OH and remaining this entire group. This is different group, this is different, this is different and this is different. Okay, this last asymmetric group contains OH on right side, CH2OH here, H here. Okay, ma. This last asymmetric carbon contains OH on right side. Glyceraldehyde plus glyceraldehyde contains OH on right side. Okay, we have to refer in glucose or any other carbohydrate, we have to refer last asymmetric carbon only. Okay, last asymmetric carbon is resembling which glyceraldehyde? Last asymmetric carbon of glucose is resembling which glyceraldehyde? Plus glyceraldehyde. Is it correct? As last asymmetric carbon of glucose is resembling plus glyceraldehyde, this representation is capital D. This is not at all related to optical activity of glucose. Please understand carefully. This capital D is not at all related to optical activity of glucose. it is relative to glyceraldehyde. Capital D representation is relative to glyceraldehyde. If last asymmetric carbon of glucose, is representing minus glyceraldehyde, that means OH group on last asymmetric carbon, if it is present on left side, then it should represent minus glyceraldehyde. At the time we will write capital L. But here, this last asymmetric carbon of glucose contains OH group on right side, which is resembling the structure of plus glyceraldehyde. That's why we are writing capital D representation. Okay, this is relative to glyceraldehyde. It is clear. Naturally, this glucose is which rotation compound? Dextrorotatory compound. Dextrorotatory compound means which representation we will show? Plus representation. Now we will come across with small d. This plus or small d both are same. This plus representation or small d representation, meaning of that one, when glucose is dissolved in water, and that is called glucose solution. If that glucose solution undergoes optical active test by using that plane polarized light, that plane polarized light will be turned towards right side, then that is called dextrorotatory compound, like that we have seen. This is the relation with optical activity. This capital D is relative to glyceraldehyde. Okay, why we have to take that last asymmetric carbon, like that reasons, if you want any doubts, I will clarify later. First thing is, which carbon present in glucose? Which carbon present in glucose? We are checking with glyceraldehyde. Last asymmetric carbon of glucose. That last asymmetric carbon of glucose contains OH on right side. Glyceraldehyde contains OH on right side. This glyceraldehyde contains OH on right side. If last asymmetric carbon of any carbohydrate resembles the plus glyceraldehyde, then capital D representation will be happened. Okay, this is capital D representation with relative to glyceraldehyde. Next, coming to plus. This plus is nothing but this glucose is dextrorotatory, that's why it is called plus. And now complete name of glucose is capital D plus glucose. Capital D plus glucose. Capital D is relative to glyceraldehyde, plus is dextrorotatory glucose. That is the name. Is it clear, man? Now finally, this is about structure of glucose we obtained. Okay, depending on these, we can write structure of glucose, saccharic acid, and even gluconic acid also. Okay, yesterday I think I wrote. Now once I will show that one. Now let us see. Is it clear, all of you? Glucose, C double bond O H, C OH H, H OH, C OH H, OH H, OH H H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the structure of glucose. Next, coming to gluconic acid. COOH, COH, H. This is 1, this is 2. CH, OH, COH, H, COH, H, COH, H, H. This is first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is gluconic acid. Now coming to saccharic acid. COOH, COH H CH OH COH H COH H COH H H. Sorry, this one also will be COOH. 1 2 3 4 5 6. That is structure of saccharic acid. This is structure of gluconic acid, middle one, and first one is structure of glucose. Okay, ma? Observe the structures and write in the classwork neatly, all of you. You are able to understand, I think. Glucose will undergo oxidation by mild oxidizing agent to form gluconic acid. That CHO aldehyde group, it is converted to COOH. Okay. Glucose, when it reacts with very strong oxidizing agent like concentrated HNO3, both CHO and primary alcohol, sixth carbon, primary alcohol, both are getting oxidized to be converted to both COOH groups. Okay, first COOH and last COOH, sixth carbon. Like that, we got the structure for saccharic acid. So at once, if you are coming to know about glucose structure, we will come to know about gluconic acid and saccharic acid also. These are the structures of glucose, gluconic acid and saccharic acid. Okay, ma? I hope you are very clear about these structures. Now, these are all called Fischer projections. These are all called Fischer projections. This is about open chain structure of glucose. Structure of glucose is not completed, ma. Still open chain structure of glucose we completed. Now we have to start closed structure of glucose also. Okay. Then what are the points we have to go through the closed structure of glucose? Okay. Now let us see. First point. Glucose does not respond Skiff's test. Even though it has CHO group. What is the first test? First one, ma? Glucose does not respond to Skiff's test even though it has CHO group. Skiff's test is the characteristic test of aldehyde. Skiff's test is the characteristic test of aldehyde. Here glucose has aldehyde, but even though glucose has aldehyde, it is not responding to Skiff's test. It is not responding to Skiff's test. What is the reason? It was not given. That one only. Now we will continue. Next, second point. One more time I am explaining the first one. Glucose does not respond Skiff's test even though it has CHO group. Okay. CHO group, aldehyde group has three characteristic tests. Those are tolerance test, Fehling's test and Skiff's test also. Tolerance test, Fehling's test and Skiff's test. These three will be responded by CHO, aldehyde group. Okay. But even though aldehyde group is present in glucose, it is not responding to Skiff's test. What is the reason? Okay, these are all points erasing the closed chain structure of glucose. Till now we have seen the open chain structure of glucose. Till now we have seen the open chain structure of glucose. Now, what are the points those are giving rise to closed chain structure of glucose? Let us see. Okay, first point is clear. Next, second point. Glucose does not react with NaHSO3. Glucose does not react with, 1 minute, not glucose, no, pentaestate. Glucose pentaestate. sorry, 1 minute. Correct, glucose only. Sorry, ma. Glucose does not react with NaHSO3. Third one, glucose pentaestate does not react with NH2OH. NH2OH means hydroxylamine. Glucose will react with NH2OH, but glucose pentaestate does not react with NH2OH, which is characteristic reaction of aldehyde. This is also characteristic reaction of aldehyde. This is also characteristic reaction of aldehyde. These three characteristic reactions of aldehyde, even though aldehyde is present in glucose, it is not showing these three characteristic reactions. Okay, and one more thing is there, point. That point also I will show. Before that, what is the first point, ma? Glucose does not respond to Scripps test even though it has CHO group. Even though it has CHO group. Next, glucose does not react with NaHSO3. Third one, glucose pentaestate does not react with NH2OH. Okay, what is the fourth point? Please note down these points. Now I am going to next point, ma. Fourth one, glucose has two forms, alpha form and beta form. Alpha form is obtained from crystallization of concentrated glucose solution at 303 Kelvin. Alpha form is obtained from crystallization of concentrated glucose solution at 303 Kelvin. Melting point, I think this 309 Kelvin, like that. No? Sorry, 409 Kelvin. What is the melting point? 409 Kelvin for alpha form. Okay. Beta form is obtained from crystallization of hot concentrated glucose solution at 370 around 370 Kelvin. Beta form melting point is 413 Kelvin. Glucose has two forms. What are those two forms? Alpha form and beta form. Alpha form melting point 409 Kelvin. Beta form melting point 413 Kelvin. In what way we obtain this alpha form? I wrote here. In what way we can obtain this beta form? I wrote here. Okay. Now, this existence of alpha form and beta form is not explained by open chain structure. Existence of these beta form and alpha form was not explained by open chain structure of glucose. Okay, but alpha form and beta form are existed. If alpha form and beta form are existed and those are not explained by open chain structure, as well as three more points I wrote. 1, 2, 3. This is fourth point. Na? 1, 2, 3. First one, Scripps test. Second one, reaction with NaHSO3. Third one, glucose pentaestate does not react with NH2OH, that is hydroxylamine. And this is fourth one. These 4 points are supporting that there is existence of cyclic structure of glucose. Till now we have studied open chain structure of glucose. Na? Now these 4 points, what are the 4 points? Even though glucose has aldehyde group, it is not responding to Scripps test. Even though glucose has aldehyde group, it is not responding to Scripps test. Second one, even though glucose has aldehyde group, it is not reacting with NaHSO3. Okay, even though glucose has aldehyde group, it is not responding, that pentaestate, glucose pentaestate is not responding to NH2OH. Fourth one, glucose has two forms, those are alpha form and beta form. Alpha form melting point 409 Kelvin, beta form melting point 413 Kelvin. Alpha form is obtained from crystallization of concentrated glucose solution at 303 Kelvin. Beta form is obtained from crystallization of hot concentrated glucose solution at 370 Kelvin. Like this, two forms and those three points were not explained by open chain structure of glucose. Because of these explanations, we have to go through definitely closed chain structure of glucose. Okay, these points will support the closed chain structure of glucose. Meaning here, CHO present in glucose is not free all times. Glucose present, aldehyde group present in glucose is not free all the times. It is involved in closed chain structure. After writing the closed chain structure, I will explain once again. I hope up to this alpha form and beta form explanation it was clear. These 4 points are supporting the closed chain structure of glucose. Now let us see what about the closed chain structure of glucose. Okay, ma? Let us see. Okay, see all of you. Now, first carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Na? Okay, 6, 1. I am going to keep like this. Now, fifth carbon, right side OH is there. Na? I am writing this one as like this. Okay, now, first carbon contains C double bond O. Between carbon and oxygen, which is more alternative? Oxygen. So, this pi bond is there. It is shifted towards oxygen. Then oxygen will get negative charge. Carbon will get positive charge. Between carbon and oxygen, the double bond is there. The pi bond is shifted towards oxygen and it will form negative charge on oxygen. Okay. Now, this negative charge on oxygen and this carbon is getting positive charge. This O minus will attack this H plus. O minus will attack this H plus. Okay, now O minus will attack this H plus. At that time, this OH bond is there, na? It will be cleaved towards O, and O is getting minus charge. This O minus is going to form bond with C plus. This O minus is going to form bond with C plus. Now I am going to write the structure. After this O minus attacking this H plus and this O minus is going to form bond with this carbon, in what way we are going to write the structure I will show. Okay. After that again I will explain this arrow mark representation. Let us see. First carbon C1 contains H. This H, this O minus is going to attack this H plus. This bond is cleaved. Then it is formed as OH. This is C1. Next, second carbon, OH right side, H left side. Third carbon, OH left side, H right side. Next, fourth carbon, OH right side, H left side. Next, fifth carbon, H left side, fifth carbon, H left side. Now observe, this O is going to form bond with this carbon. Here this carbon has a bond with oxygen. This carbon has bond with oxygen, and this oxygen has bond with this carbon, first carbon. Please observe, this oxygen has bond with first carbon as well as fifth carbon. This is fifth carbon. This is fifth carbon. Oxygen has bond with fifth carbon as well as first carbon. Please don't compare this bond line representation here. Don't think that this is one carbon, again this is carbon, like that. This is totally one bond. Carbon has bond with oxygen. Again this oxygen has bond with carbon. Please don't compare the bond and representation and don't think that here carbon is there. Okay? Oxygen has bond with carbon. This is one bond only, and this is entirely one bond. This is closure structure. And finally, sixth carbon has right side OH, H, and left side H. This is called cyclic structure of glucose. Please observe the cyclic structure of glucose, all of you. On fifth carbon, oxygen is there, na? That oxygen is going to form bond with first carbon. On fifth carbon, oxygen is there. Already that bond is present. Okay. That oxygen is going to form bond with first carbon. See, this bond is completely cleaved. This hydrogen is attacked by this O minus to form OH. This O minus is there, na? It is going to form bond with this carbon. Finally, this first carbon is going to form bond with oxygen, this oxygen only. This oxygen is this one, na? Both are same. Okay, and that oxygen has bond with fifth carbon. This is totally one bond only, and this is also one bond only. This is called closed chain representation of closure structure of glucose. This is closure structure of glucose. Okay, now in what way we are going to explain the four properties, why they are not explained by open chain structure? I will explain that one. Before that, this is called alpha form of glucose. This is called alpha form of glucose. Now, how I am going to write beta form? Shall I write this one? Now see the beta form. This is beta form, and at right side it is alpha form. What is the difference between alpha form and beta form? In alpha form, first carbon has right side OH. In beta form, first carbon has left side OH, remaining as it is. This type of explanation is not at all possible with open chain structure. This alpha form, beta form existence, this alpha form and beta form existence is not at all possible with open chain structure, because in open chain structure first carbon has C double bond O. Whether C double bond O is present left side or right side, that is not a problem. Here these are different groups, no? Here this is H, this is OH. Here definitely representation is different. Here right side OH and this is H. If OH on first carbon is present on right side, that is called alpha form. If OH on first carbon is present on left side, we will get beta form. On first carbon, we will get OH in closed chain structure only. On first carbon, we will have aldehyde group in open chain structure. Okay, now we can explain the 3 points that in this closed chain structure, aldehyde group is not there. Aldehyde group is not free. Correct? Because of that, first three tests are not shown by glucose. Those 3 reagents are not able to break this bond, okay, and they are not able to react with aldehyde. But hydroxylamine directly and remaining reagents are there now, they are able to break this open chain structure and they are able to react with that aldehyde in open chain structure easily. That's why they are able to be shown. But these 3 reagents, what are the 3 reagents I told? First one Skips test, second one NaHSO3 test, third one hydroxylamine, okay, but that is not glucose pentaestate. In glucose pentaestate also, this first carbon is not contained by CHO, that means aldehyde. It is bonded with fifth carbon in this way, closed chain structure. Okay na? So these 4 points, and fourth point, what is the fourth point? Alpha form and beta form of glucose. Alpha form and beta form of glucose existence is not explained by open chain structure. It is possible with closed chain structure by writing the closed chain structure of glucose in 2 forms like this. This alpha form melting point and beta form melting point, as well as how did we get this alpha form and how did we get this beta form, all are explained clearly. So these are all points, 4 points, and remaining also they kept the explanation of closed chain structure of glucose. This is the closed chain structure of glucose. Are you clear, man? So till some points we have gone through open chain structure of glucose. Now we have seen closed chain structure of glucose also. Okay, next we will continue with one more representation. This is called Fischer projection, Fischer representation. Till now we have seen all these are given by Fischer. These are all called Fischer representation. Now we will see Haworth representation. Okay, that Haworth representation also I will write. After that, complete name of the glucose I will show that one. Before that, till now, is it clear for you? Okay, observe carefully the structures of glucose, alpha form and beta form, everything. Please observe carefully. Okay, now we will see what about the Haworth structure. Haworth structure, alpha form. Okay, first concentrate highly. In a easy way I will explain definitely. Okay, you have to be very careful to write these structures. Now first concentrate on this oxygen. I wrote this oxygen. Okay, now 1 minute man. I wrote this oxygen here. This oxygen is bonded to first carbon as well as fifth carbon. Correct? First carbon I am representing on right side. Fifth carbon I am representing on left side of oxygen. Fifth carbon I am representing on left side of oxygen. First carbon I am representing on right side of oxygen. Okay, now what is going to be happened? See, observe. This is first carbon. This is first carbon. Let us turn like this, clockwise direction. First carbon rotate like this, means not carbon, hydrogens. This hydrogen will come above, OH is coming below. Okay, next. This first carbon is bonded to which carbon? Second carbon. Same. Rotate this second carbon like this. H will be coming above. OH will be coming below. Next. Second carbon is bonded to which carbon? Third carbon. Same as it is. Third carbon also rotate like this. OH is coming above. H is coming below. Next. Third one is bonded to fourth one. Fourth one. Same. H is above and OH is below. Next. Fourth is bonded to fifth one. That fifth one alone contains H below and CH2OH above. Fifth carbon contains CH2OH above and H below. Okay, ma. Every time, definitely this fifth carbon is bonded to sixth carbon, that is CH2OH. Na? Every time that CH2OH will be written above only. That reasons, all those things we will discuss, no problem. First, this Fisher representation is converted to Haworth representation. These are all representations, ma. Molecule will be existed as it is. Okay, one scientist he will represent in this way. Another scientist he is representing in this way. In a easy way, how we are going to remember, that is our point. Okay, Fisher representation can be converted to Haworth representation. Remembrance I am telling now. First, concentrate on this oxygen. Oxygen is bonded to two carbons, C1 and C5. Okay, now C1, coming to C1. The C1 is like this. I am turning right side, clockwise direction. Okay, when we turn that clockwise direction, hydrogen is coming above and OH is coming below. Same, second carbon, H is above, OH is below. Same, third carbon, OH is above, H is below. Fourth carbon, H is above, OH is below. Exception is, on fifth carbon every time we will write CH2OH above only. Okay, fifth carbon, CH2OH, H is below. This is called Haworth structure alpha form. This is called Haworth structure alpha form. Observe that carefully, all of you. Now I am going to show beta form. Haworth structure beta form. Same as it is like this. Little bit small I am writing now. Oxygen bonded to carbon. First carbon, hydrogen is above and OH is below in alpha form. Correct? Now in beta form, OH will be above, H will be below. This is first carbon. Now oxygen is bonded to fifth carbon also. This first carbon is bonded to second carbon. Remaining all same. H above, OH below. Second carbon is bonded to third carbon. OH is above, H is below. Next, third carbon is bonded to fourth carbon. H above, OH below. Fourth carbon is bonded to fifth carbon. The CH2OH above only, sixth carbon, and here H is below. Where is the difference here? This is alpha form, this is beta form. These two are coming under Haworth structures. Okay, now on first carbon hydrogen is above and OH is below. Actually previous alpha form, OH on right side, na? That's why it came down. Now OH is left side, though, so it will be above. Okay, remaining same representation only. There is no change between alpha form and beta form. Note down this alpha form and beta form of glucose. Haworth structures carefully, as well as Fisher representations also clearly. In Fisher representation, OH is on right side for alpha form. Now that OH will be coming down on first carbon. In beta form, OH will be on left side. In Fisher representation, that OH is coming here above, because we are turning that in clockwise direction only. Okay ma, slowly, no problem, you will be habituated. Don't get, by seeing the structures like this, don't get tense ma. Everything will be habituated and you will feel easy only. In that way, I will teach, no problem at all. Okay, this is initial condition. At once, if you are going through fructose like the structures, you will be very clear, no problem at all. Okay, same till now what we have discussed, that is important point, that is structure of glucose was explained. Structure of glucose, open chain structure was explained. Even closed chain, how it is formed also I explained. In closed chain structure, alpha form and beta form given by Fisher projections, as well as Havard structures, alpha form and beta form also we have seen. Okay, these are the structures of glucose. Okay, and now next class, this is today class, it is over now. By next class, what about the fructose structure also we will go through. Before that, small more points regarding glucose are there, that one I will teach. After that, we will go through structure of fructose. But today's class, I hope you understood everything. Okay, if you have any small doubt, just ask me through WhatsApp, I will clarify and I will send you a pic. Okay ma? This is about today's class. Please go through the structures carefully, practice the structures very well. Okay, these are all very important. Thank you ma, all of you. Thank you.